on problems, on problems, on problems. I solve them. I run through the money, that should be calling. Left on my blessings, I feel like I'm falling. The birdie is back. Tell me I'm coming, I'm going through something. That's why I ain't calling. Phone and progression, it's all that I wanted. The phone and affection, I summon it double.
What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to the vlog. As you saw at the beginning, Kennedy and I built one of those rockets that you can pick up from Hobby Lobby, and we are still searching for that rocket. We have not found it yet, but that's pretty awesome. Anyways, guys, finally the headers have come back from Detective Coating. Huge shout out to my boy Justin over there for doing that. He actually does, the way that I met this guy was, what he used to do is when you bought your Evo 8, they had a recall actually on the paint on the Brembo calipers because they used to come with front Brembos from the factory. I know this is a Mustang, has no say, but they used to come with Brembos from the factory, and they actually had a recall on them, but it wasn't until later on that they did the recall. So what everyone used to do is Justin started this service where he would keep core Brembos in stock, and you could send yours in and he would send you a set that was rebuilt and powder coated. So literally everyone did that with an Evo because obviously they were red and they faded to pink. They were super ugly, so a lot of people did that, and that's actually how I met Justin from Detective Coating. A lot of people in the Evo community and DSM community actually used him, so that's how I met him. I sent him that, and I sent him my valve cover for my Evo. I'm gonna drop some pictures here and some videos of my Evo here. But, so that's how I essentially met him, and that was, I want to say 5 or 6 years ago, and now back with the Mustang, I had him do the thermal ceramic coating on the headers, and then I also had him do the overflow for the radiator coolant. So I'll show you guys. These came out super good. So the overflow for the radiator, let me grab this out of here. So this one obviously is just powder coated, but this is the overflow for my radiator. It sits like on the front of the engine, but came out super, super good. A nice gloss black. And then let me show you guys the headers. So guys, here are the headers. It is a satin gloss black, so it's got a little bit of a gloss sheen to it. Super, super nice, really high quality finish. And this is a thermal ceramic coating, so it does protect against heat instead of having to wrap them with all the heat wrap like I did on some of the pipes previously. But man, look at that quality. So it's pretty inexpensive, and I think it only took him like 2 weeks, including my shipping to him and his shipping back. That thing better shut up. But I'm not sponsored by Detective Coating or anything. They just do really awesome work, and the quality is top notch, and the prices are very reasonable. So if you guys want to, check out Detective Coating on Facebook, Instagram, or go to their website. Essentially what you do is you print out a form, say what you want done on the form, and then they'll get that stuff done to you, send you an invoice, and then pay the invoice, and they'll ship your stuff back. Super easy to do, quick turnaround, and like I said, the quality is freaking awesome. So I'm glad I sent the headers off. Obviously, the cross pipe and the merge pipe, we have to redo the merge pipe for the turbo, so that's why I didn't do the front side of the hot parts yet. But once we do that, there's probably not enough time before 2K, but after 2K, I'll pull those two pieces, send them off, and then that way all that stuff is ceramic coated, and I don't have to heat wrap it because, let me show you. You can see that heat wrap stuff, it fades. Once stuff leaks on it, it rips. It just looks ugly over time, and even when it's like in good condition, it still looks ugly to me. And this stuff essentially does the same thing, but it looks really good. So I'll probably send, so this is the pipe, by the way, that we're gonna have to remake, but I'll send all that stuff off later on. But as you guys know, we are in a time crunch for TX2K. So the engine has shipped, it's confirmed, it's shipped. RPG, huge shout out to Will. We'll do a whole video over the motor once it gets here. Hopefully by Tuesday we'll have the motor in the garage. The converter has shipped. Huge shout out to JPC, Eric Holiday over there hooking it up. Converter should be here probably Wednesday or Thursday. Still waiting on the K-member and coilovers and injectors, some small odds and ends, but pretty much once the engine and the converter are here, we can start putting everything back on. So the plan is to get the engine back on the engine hoist, and then we'll put the headers on. Because I was able to pull the motor out with the headers on, so I'll put the headers on, put any other things on that are easy to get to. Like the headers you can do from underneath, but it's a lot easier when the engine's up and out of the way, because when I put the headers on and the engine was in the car, I had to jack the engine up and take the engine mounts off. It's just a lot easier when it's outside the car. And the engine will come out with the headers actually attached to the car. So we'll put those back on. Like I said, I got new gaskets, new heads, or new studs, new bolts, or new studs and new nuts for that. So it'll be good to go. Other things, I just got like pretty much every new gasket on the car, all new bolts for everything. So like I said, all that small stuff we'll throw back on the engine before we put the engine in the car. And then once the engine's in, obviously we'll have the converter already in the transmission. We'll get the engine down onto the mounts, and then we'll try and line up the transmission, get the transmission bolted down, and then pretty much I just have to install the radiator, intake manifold, fuel system, alternator, starter. I've got new spark plugs for the car, and because we have to gap them a little differently because we're going obviously higher boost this time. So I did get the gap from John Lund. Got the gap, that's pretty funny. But he did give me what I need to gap the spark plugs to this time for the higher boost. So pretty much install all that stuff, coils, plugs, fuel system, install the harness back on, and then once all that is back on, then we will trailer the car to Joe's house, and we will work on building that merge pipe. Once the merge pipe is built, we can put the new turbo on, run all the oil feed and return lines, get all the intercooler piping hooked back up. Obviously, this one's still in the car. We'll have to put the top one back on, put the one from the intercooler to the turbo. Like I said, turbo's going to stay in the same spot for now. And then after that, everything's good to go here. We'll do the braking on the engine, and then we'll start installing the roll cage, which obviously this will take a lot more time than doing the merge pipe. So that's why we want to get the turbo kit done, because it shouldn't take but a few days. But I want to make sure everything else is done before I get to Joe's, because I don't want to waste any time when we get to Joe's house, because obviously he's still working on his car. So we are in a rush. We're in a time crunch. Luckily, everything has already shipped. So now it's just a matter of a couple days before everything gets here and we can really start installing stuff. So I just want to show you guys the headers and the overflow for the radiator. I thought that stuff came out really good. Like I said, you guys can hit up Detective Coating if you want that stuff done. There's a few more new parts that I have coming in, but I'll go over that stuff with you guys as it comes in. But I really wanted to show you guys that and give you an update that the motor has shipped and the converter has shipped. Those are the two big pieces we've been waiting on, because I can't put the engine in without the converter and the transmission. So huge thanks to everyone helping right now. We've got a lot of stuff going on, trying to get a lot done in a short amount of time. I don't think the car will be ready by the flashlight shootout, because as you guys know, the flashlight shootout from today is now less than 3 weeks, because 3 weeks from yesterday would be the flashlight shootout. So we are in a crunch time. I would have loved to have it at the flashlight shootout. I probably want to race, because Kevin and I have to run the event, and it's a lot of work to run one of those events. But it would have been cool to have it there. I don't think it'll be there, so don't plan on it. But our biggest thing we're just trying to get ready for right now is TX2K, as I am doing the street racer class. The cool thing about the class this year is they're breaking it up into different sections. So instead of there being just like one street racer winner, there's going to be, I think, 4 groups. And that's really fair and reasonable, because a lot more people want to enter the class, but no one wants to enter the class when there's people going 690s and 7.0s, and then you bring in a car, you know, that runs mid to high 7s. It's not competitive. And so there's a lot of cars that enter that class that run low 8s, mid 8s. There's some guys that run high 7s, mid 7s, and there's some guys on the brink of running 6s, and they're already running low 7s. So they're going to break that class up based on time, so it'll be a lot more competitive. My plan is just to go a few rounds. You never want to get knocked out first round, but it does happen. But I think with the setup, as long as we get in the right group, I think we'll be able to go a few rounds. And that's really why I want to go to 2K. I've always wanted to compete in the actual 2K event. The street stuff is really cool. I think it's gotten a little out of hand, but it is really cool to go to. We went to a bunch of the meets last year. We didn't participate in any Mexico activities, but we did go around to a bunch of the meets just to kind of, you know, you gotta feel the TX2K vibe. It's really cool. There's a lot of people there. We only went to the track one day last year, and it was super, super awesome. I mean, there is just such badass cars there. It's so much fun. It's just a really cool environment. If you guys haven't gone to TX2K, you gotta go this year. So this year will be really fun because we do have a Contagion Athletics booth. So we're gonna be selling merchandise for our gym, our clothing brand, Contagion Athletics. Myself, Kevin, Rachel, and Kennedy will be out there selling some stuff. And then Kevin's gonna be racing the Charger in the heavyweight class, which is really cool. And then I'll be in the street racer class. So it's gonna be a ton of fun. It's kind of been stressful trying to get all this stuff done, and it's about to get even more stressful as we actually start working on the car, but I'm really excited for it. It's gonna be a good time. Hopefully see you guys out at the Flashlight Shootout. Hopefully see some of you guys out at TX2K, but the next video, you will see us actually working on the car. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Hopefully you guys enjoy your weekend. I'll see you guys on the next one.